Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Meshcat English House. I'm Emma, and today we're diving into a really important topic, English for job interviews. Interviews can be stressful, but if you know how to use the right English words, sentences, and strategies, you can walk into the room with confidence.
That's right, Emma. Most people feel nervous before an interview, and sometimes they know the answers in their own language but struggle to express them clearly in English. That's why this episode is special. We're going to guide you step by step through the most common parts of a job interview. We'll cover greetings, talking about yourself, describing your skills, answering tough questions, and even how to end the interview politely.
And we'll also give you lots of examples, role plays, and tips you can practice at home. So let's get started.
Let's begin with the very first moment, the first impression. When you walk into an interview, how you greet the interviewer matters a lot. In English, a simple hello, nice to meet you with a smile can set the right tone. If it's more formal, you can say, good morning, it's a pleasure to meet you. These are polite, professional ways to start.
Exactly. And remember, your body language speaks too. A firm but not too strong handshake, sitting up straight, and making eye contact show confidence. For example, if the interviewer says, welcome, please have a seat, you can respond with, thank you very much. It's short but polite.
Yes, politeness is key. Some people make the mistake of saying too much at the beginning, like talking about the traffic or complaining about the weather. It's better to stay professional. Keep your greeting simple, warm, and clear.
Let's do a quick role play. I'll be the interviewer. Ready?
Good morning, thank you for coming in today.
Good morning, thank you for having me. It's great to be here. Now let's move on to the most common question in almost every interview, tell me about yourself. This is often the first real question, and it's your chance to give a strong, clear introduction.
Yes, and this is where many candidates get nervous. They either give too much personal detail or too little. A good structure is 1. Who you are, 2. Your background, and 3. What you're looking for. For example, my name is Jack, I have a degree in business administration, and I've worked in customer service for 3 years. I'm excited about this opportunity because it matches my skills and career goals.
That's an excellent model. It's short, professional, and focused on your work experience. Avoid going into unrelated personal details, like hobbies that don't connect to the job. Saying, I love playing video games and watching TV shows doesn't really help in an interview.
Exactly. But you can mention soft skills or positive qualities, like teamwork or problem solving. For example, I'm someone who enjoys working with people and solving challenges. In my last job, I often helped customers find quick solutions, which improved their experience.
Let's give our listeners a quick practice exercise. If you're listening right now, try to answer this question, tell me about yourself. Use 3 parts, your name, your background, and your career goal. Pause the podcast and practice saying it out loud.
All right, let's continue. Employers always want to know your skills and experience. The key is to highlight skills that are relevant to the job. Instead of saying, I can do many things, be specific. For example, I have strong communication skills and experience managing small projects.
And try to use strong action verbs. Instead of saying, I was responsible for a team, say, I managed a team of 5 people. This sounds more active and confident. Also, connect your skills to the company's needs. For example, I developed customer service strategies that improved satisfaction by 20%, and I believe I can bring the same results here.
That's powerful. One mistake I often hear is when candidates repeat the exact words from their resume. The interviewer already has your CV, they want to hear a story. You can say, in my last role as a sales assistant, I worked directly with clients, learned how to solve problems quickly, and consistently met my sales targets. That gives a clearer picture.
Yes, think of it as telling a story about how your skills helped you succeed. And don't forget soft skills like teamwork, leadership, or adaptability. Employers love to hear about those. Now let's look at some of the most common interview questions. Besides tell me about yourself, you'll often hear things like, why do you want to work here? Or why should we hire you?
For why do you want to work here? You should show that you know something about the company. For example, I admire your company's focus on innovation, and I want to contribute my skills to support your growth. This shows interest and preparation.
And for why should we hire you? Don't just say, because I need a job. Instead, highlight your strengths. I believe you should hire me because I bring a combination of strong technical skills and the ability to work well in a team. I'm confident I can add value to your projects.
Another common question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? A safe answer is, in 5 years, I hope to have grown professionally and taken on more responsibility in this field, ideally within your company. This shows ambition without sounding like you're planning to leave soon.
Exactly. Let's give one more role play. I'll ask the question, and Jack will answer. Why do you want to work here?
I admire the company's reputation for excellent customer service and innovation. I believe my background in communication and problem solving matches your needs, and I'm excited to be part of your team.
That's a strong answer. Short, confident, and focused on the company. Now let's move into one of the trickiest parts of a job interview, talking about your strengths and weaknesses. Almost every interviewer will ask something like, what are your strengths? Or what is your biggest weakness? And these questions can make candidates really nervous.
Yes, and the key here is balance. When you talk about your strengths, don't just list adjectives like I'm hardworking, I'm honest, I'm creative. Instead, give examples that show your strengths in action. For instance, one of my strengths is problem solving. In my last job, when a project was falling behind, I reorganized the team's schedule, and we were able to finish 2 days early. That's much stronger because it shows proof.
Exactly. Interviewers want to see evidence. Think of your strength as a skill plus a story. For example, I'm very detail-oriented. When I worked on financial reports, I double-checked every number, and that helped my manager avoid mistakes. That way, your strength sounds real and believable.
Now let's talk about weaknesses, which is even harder. Many people think they should say something like I don't have any weaknesses. But that doesn't sound honest. Others go the opposite way and confess something too serious, like I'm always late. That can make the interviewer doubt your professionalism.
Right. The smart way is to pick a small weakness and show how you're improving it. For example, I sometimes take too much time on details, but I've learned to set deadlines for myself so I don't slow down the team. This shows self-awareness and growth.
Yes, it's not about being perfect. It's about showing that you can reflect on yourself and improve. Another example could be, public speaking used to be difficult for me, but I joined a weekly meeting where I practice presenting, and I've become much more confident. That turns a weakness into a positive story.
Let's try a short role play. I'll ask you the question, and you answer as if you're the candidate. Ready? What is one of your weaknesses?
One weakness I've had is that I sometimes get nervous when speaking in large groups. To improve, I started volunteering to lead team discussions, and now I feel much more comfortable. I see it as an area where I'm growing.
That's a great answer. It's honest, but it also shows progress. So, listeners, remember, for strengths, give examples with proof. For weaknesses, be honest but show improvement.
Well, friends, we've covered a lot today. We started with first impressions, where we talked about polite greetings, confident body language, and how a simple good morning, nice to meet you can set the right tone. Then we moved into talking about yourself, where we practiced answering tell me about yourself with a clear 3-part structure.
Yes, and we also explored how to describe your skills and experience, using strong action verbs and telling short stories instead of just repeating your resume. After that, we looked at common interview questions like why do you want to work here? And where do you see yourself in 5 years? We practiced clear, confident answers that connect your strengths to the company.
And finally, we just finished Chapter 5, where we broke down how to talk about your strengths and weaknesses in a professional way. We learned that it's not about being perfect, it's about showing your self-awareness, your honesty, and your ability to grow.
I want to encourage all of our listeners to practice these answers out loud. Don't just write them down, actually say them, as if you're in the interview room. The more you practice speaking, the more natural and confident you'll sound.
And remember, interviews are not only about English grammar and vocabulary. They're also about confidence, attitude, and preparation. If you prepare your answers, rehearse with a friend, and use the tips we shared, you'll feel much calmer and ready for success.
Absolutely. And don't worry if you make small mistakes in English. Most interviewers care more about your ideas and your ability to communicate clearly than about perfect grammar. Focus on being clear, polite, and confident.
So, to all our listeners out there, whether you're preparing for your very first job interview or aiming for a higher position, we hope today's episode gave you useful tools and phrases to practice.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe to Meshcat English House and share it with a friend who might also need help with job interviews.